Today's episode is sponsored by AeroPress, but a little bit more on that later. What I want to talk about is what we're actually doing today. Obviously, we're going into fall, so we're going to be wanting some warming cocktails, especially in those parts of the country that get a little bit colder than it does here in LA, although I do love a coffee cocktail. The first cocktail we're making today is called a Spanish coffee. This is one of those rare cocktails that come from Oregon. It is the most famous cocktail from a place called Huber's in Portland, and while Huber's didn't create the cocktail, their Spanish coffee is the most famous one, and it is the most well-known in Oregon. Jeffrey Morgenthaler is the Oregon bartender who put this cocktail on the map outside of Oregon and introduced it to a bunch of people, such as myself and a few others that have made some videos over the years. It is a great cocktail to know and one that you should definitely be making in the fall. You are gonna love this cocktail when you see it. You're gonna rush to go make it, and I highly recommend that. So the first thing we're gonna need is some coffee, and I'm gonna be using my handy dandy AeroPress to do it. Now, here's the thing about the AeroPress. The AeroPress Go Plus is the very first travel coffee maker that is worthwhile. I spend not only a lot of time on the go, but I do a lot of offsite events where I'm having to make coffee on the fly. I have used some other coffee systems that are portable that just did not taste very good. This is the very first system that I have ever used that makes great tasting coffee on the go, and it totally fits my life. Whether I'm camping, which I do quite a lot, or whether I'm doing an offsite event, or whether I'm in a hotel room and I can make better coffee in my hotel room than what they give you, this is the perfect all-in-one system. It has everything that you need in this mug, and the mug is double wall insulated. So you have the entire system right here. That is it. And then you have your scoop, you've got your stirring spoon, and then very conveniently, you got your filters in the little bottom storage compartment right there. And then you also have your lid, so you can drink your coffee, see? This is such an easy system to use to make all your favorite coffee. All that being said, let's make the coffee because that's one of the most important parts of this cocktail. All right, so we take off the top here, and then we take out the little brewing unit. You have this little guy right here. That's your filter. That's where your filter goes anyway. It actually comes with a lot of filters, which is really convenient. Put our filter in there like so. That, and then we take out the plunger. So what we're gonna wanna do here is we're gonna take one heaping spoonful of coffee, put that in there like so, and then we wanna shake this to level out the coffee. We wanna make sure it's on an even plane. You see these numbers up here. There's a couple of things. You wanna pour your water pretty quickly because you can actually get a little bit of drip through in the filter. So we're just gonna pour this like super quick all the way up as fast as we can so that we get it in there super fast. Then what you wanna do is you wanna just like stir it real quickly, and then you wanna put the plunger in, and once you put the plunger in, it creates a vacuum, and that vacuum will actually hold the water from dripping through the thing. So you just wanna hold it up there for about 30 seconds, which we've done, right? Has it been 30 seconds?
5 more seconds.
Oh, 5 more seconds.
2 more seconds.
Oh my God.
All right.
Jesus, all right, here. And then what you wanna do is you wanna press it slow and steady. You want even pressure, and you want to do it kind of slowly. You don't want to rip it down, or you're going to have weak sauce coffee. And here we have, check it out. You ready? You ready for this? Wow, steaming hot coffee. AeroPress is the smoothest, almost velvety coffee that you'll ever taste, and it even has a full-bodied flavor, kind of like wine. And we've got an incredible offer for our audience on Go Plus. Just go to aeropress.com/ebpress, that's aeropress.com/ebpress, and type in the code ebpress at checkout for 20% off your order. That's aeropress.com/ebpress, and make sure to use the code ebpress at checkout to save 20%. It's time to say goodbye to crappy coffee, and yes to better adventures fueled by better coffee. And thanks to AeroPress for sponsoring the show. All right, we're gonna make this cocktail very quickly because I want this coffee to be hot still. So because this is a hot cocktail, we tempered our glass with hot water. Here, you wanna make sure that your cocktail receptacle is hot. Grab a lemon here. We're just gonna take a wedge real quick. I'm gonna cut a little notch in there, and then we're just gonna rim the glass with lemon, like so. And what you wanna have here is actually a bowl full of sugar, because we want a very thick sugar rim on this thing. So we're gonna actually dip it in there like that, and we're gonna have a nice thick sugar rim, just like that. Then we're gonna add in a 1/4 ounce of Cointreau. If you wanna use triple sec, you can. Cointreau is gonna be a little higher ABV, and it's going to be a little more shishy, but any type of triple sec or Curacao will do. And then we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of Gosling Black Seal 151. And you wanna make sure that you use this particular rum for this, not only because it is the traditional, but also because it's 151. And we're gonna light this bad boy on fire. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna light this guy on fire. You're not gonna be able to see the flame, but it burns really hot. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it, and you're gonna start to see the sugar on the side caramelize. And you gotta be really careful with this. It gets really hot. So you just wanna turn it like so, and you're gonna see how it's turning brown once it starts hitting the sugar. There you go. Let me set it down. We're gonna add in 1.5 ounces of Kahlúa.
Still burning.
No, it's gone now. And then we're gonna top it up with the rest of our coffee. And then last but not least, we're gonna top it up with cream. We got heavy cream in here. What we're doing here is we actually have a coil in here, so I can shake it and kind of hand whip it to make it thick enough to layer on top. You wanna make sure that you don't whip it so hard that it's going to make peaks. Like, you don't want it to be peaky. You wanna make sure that it is nice and smooth, but it is whipped enough that it's gonna layer on top. So, but if you do that, just make sure that you don't over whip it because it's easy to do. So we're just gonna expand that cream a bit. And then the way to check is to just pour out a little and see if it holds a bead on your finger. This one's spreading still a little bit too much, so we're not quite there yet. So we're gonna keep going a little bit more. You don't wanna under whip it, because if you under whip it, it's gonna start to combine into the drink prematurely. You want it to really hold on top. There we go, that's a bead. Another little life hack you could do is that you can actually flavor the cream. You can put any type of liqueur, or like a coffee liqueur in here, or chocolate liqueur, and then it'll give it a little extra flavor. We're just gonna layer it on top, and then you can just squeeze it evenly on top like so. You can see that the cream holds on top. And then last but not least, we're just gonna give it a little nutmeg. Give it some nice warming baking spice on top. All right, let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, that's good. I like the floating cream on top because you have to like sip through. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to have a rum-based coffee liqueur and then 151 proof rum inside a coffee drink. You get a lot of those rum flavors. You get a lot of that like kind of molassesy flavor and burnt sugar. Obviously, you get burnt sugar on the sides because we actually burnt sugar. The coffee goes really well with the rum, but also it tempers the 151, so you don't really understand how alcoholic what you're drinking is, which is definitely a cautionary note about this. This is definitely like something that you could do maybe one cocktail, maybe two. But after that, you're gonna get pretty sloppy, so you should be really careful with this drink. There it is, guys, the Spanish coffee. So the next cocktail that we're doing is an Irish coffee, and although we've done the Irish coffee a couple of different times on this channel, we haven't done it quite this way. We are doing the Irish coffee from the Dead Rabbit, or the way that they do it. The Dead Rabbit is an award-winning bar in New York City, and what they do that is so freaking brilliant, and I'm pretty sure that they innovated this technique, is that they use an immersion circulator to heat their coffee. Now, the problem with Irish coffees is that you need to have hot coffee, and you can put coffee in a thermos and it will stay hot for a while, but eventually it'll go cold. Or you have to keep it in a pot, but over time the pot will burn the coffee and you will get that really bad bitter taste, those off flavors in your coffee. But using an immersion circulator that keeps water at a specific temperature can heat your coffee and it will never burn. So if you're doing Irish coffees for a party, this is the perfect setup to just keep that coffee piping hot at exactly 150 to 170 degrees, depending on how hot you want your coffee. You'll have awesome Irish coffees and you'll never get burnt coffee. It's brilliant. So what I've done here is I've taken some coffee and I've put sugar in it. So I've pre-sweetened it. I did 8 grams of sugar for every 1 cup of coffee that's in here. And we're just going to very easily make our, oh, it's so hot too. We're just gonna very easily make our Irish coffee. So first thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to heat your mug to make sure that you don't crack it when you put hot liquid into it. And then on top of that, you also wanna make sure that you heat the glass so that you're not putting hot liquids into a cold glass and making it rapidly get cold, right? You wanna keep this drink as hot as possible for as long as possible. Once it's heated, we're just gonna toss that out, and literally all we have to do is get our whiskey here. Obviously, we're gonna be doing Irish whiskey. I'm gonna do 1.5 ounces here of Tullamore Dew, or if you wanna do 2 ounces. And then we'll just take our pre-sweetened coffee, fill it up to almost the top, leaving a little space for cream. Another cool thing that you can do is you can always put any liqueur or any sugar source into your cream to give it a little extra flavor profile if you so desire. And then we're just gonna layer it on top like so once it's whipped. And if you don't have a squeeze bottle, you can use a jar, a mason jar. You don't need a coil, but it helps, and all it is just a Hawthorne strainer coil that I just pulled off, and then you can put it right back on. Oh, where's my little, oh, there's my little grater, cool. And we're just gonna give it a little nutmeg on top. I mean, I do tasting notes, but you guys know what an Irish coffee tastes like. There it is, your Irish coffee. The Coffee and Coke was created by bartender Juliana Fisher at the Dewberry in Charleston, South Carolina. First thing we're gonna do here is grab our tin. Even though this is a shake cocktail, there's no citrus in it at all. And we're gonna do, no, we're not gonna do that first. We're gonna not forget our bitters, okay? We're gonna do 1 dash of chocolate bitters. I'm using the Fee's Aztec chocolate bitters here. And then we're gonna do 1 ounce of cold brew concentrate. Somebody recently asked me what cold brew concentrate is, and basically what it is it's coarsely ground coffee with cold water added to it, and then it's steeped for like 15 to 20 hours and then strained, and what you have is this very, 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 very strong coffee. And what you have is this very strong coffee that you usually have to add water to water it down. But it's nice for cocktails because you can sub it out for espresso, in espresso martinis and drinks like this if you do not have espresso. We're gonna do 1/4 ounce of sweet vermouth. And then we're gonna do 1/4 ounce of Grand Classico. And then we're gonna do 1 ounce of our Rittenhouse. I'm actually gonna pour a fat ounce because I like my whiskey. Oh, this press cut. I gotta. All right, ready? You rolling?
Rolling.
All right, let's do it. All right, ice in the tin. You guys know the drill. I don't know why I feel compelled to say that in every video, but I think maybe you guys might forget the ice. Actually, before I shake, I'm just gonna fill this quickly up. Oh, there's some big pieces of ice in here. I didn't do a very good chopping job. All right. And give it a double strain. Ooh, look at that, sexy. And then pour our Coke, about 1 ounce. You see how it reacts to the cold brew that we whipped up nicely? Voila, it's a thing of beauty. Let's give it a taste. Tastes like coffee and Coke. You can taste a little bit of the rye whiskey in there. You taste a little bit of the botanicals, especially in the Grand Classico, which is a nice bold flavor, but you still get a little bit of that raisin flavor, that, not raisins, but currant, black currant. It's kind of a black currant flavor from the sweet vermouth. And then you get obviously the chocolate. Obviously you're gonna taste the Coke as well. Yeah, it's really good. It's like a gussied up coffee with Coke in it. And I mean, I guess it kind of stands to reason that Coke is gonna go really well and cola nut will go really well with coffee. I mean, just, it's a flavor buddy, goes hand in hand. So there it is, guys, the coffee and Coke.
Do you know why it's called a Spanish coffee?
No idea. And don't say that on camera. The AeroPress, what is it? The AeroPress
Go Plus, I think.
The AeroPress Go, is it Go Plus?
Go Plus. Come on. Kettle, boil, boil. Why does it never boil when you look at it?
What do you call a person that constantly says dad jokes, but they don't have kids?
Funny?
Yeah, funny? Someone's gonna say, you said in the video and it offended my sensibilities. I'm a sir.
There's like a buffer of air that's pushing it down.
Yeah.
It's weird to see.
Okay. Oh, I up already, dude. I have to mansplain ice to you guys, like so much. I don't know. It might be the result of trauma, some type of trauma.
Like brain trauma?